Juju game. Everyone is doing well. Happy Friday, my friends. I know, Yash, back on a Friday live stream. Well, I'll fill you in. It's a long weekend here in Canada. So Monday we have off, Friday I have off. And so I thought, what better way to spend a Friday than with my peeps, watching Tesla stock just like the old days. Tesla sitting at $180.25, up 1.85%. What a day. Anyways, let me know if my audio is coming in clear. We got a lot to talk about. I'll walk you through the agenda here in a second. Get settled in. Grab your coffee, grab your juju, whatever you need. Here it's a little bit early in the morning. It's 8:15 in the morning here. And let me know if my audio is coming in clear. And of course, if I haven't said it already, put your city, state, country, whatever you feel comfortable sharing. And I'll read some comments out as we continue on here. Thank you. Awesome. How's it going, Michael? Steven, Raymond, got juju always. Just let me finish my coffee here. Martin, how's it going, my friend? Mimi, Leandro, Dan, man, everyone tuning in the chat. All the OGs in here. Great American, how you doing? Marco, our awesome mod as well. Let's see here. Classy Dan, of course. Dan, my friend. Karsten, Chadwick, awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna read out some city, places, countries here in a second. Let me just walk you through the agenda, and let me turn off this music here. Hold on. Okay, let's walk you through the agenda. We got a lot to talk about. It's awesome being live, I have to say, during market hours, right? As you guys know, I can't really do that too much anymore, but it's awesome. Look, we got a live stock price to talk about. We'll talk about Tesla stock price action in the last 5 days here, in the last week. We'll talk about some breaking, and you probably saw in the thumbnail and the title, some breaking Tesla Giga India news, and you'll get my take on that. In my opinion, this is a big deal, and I think the market agrees with it. And then also, we got some videos lined up with CNBC and people giving their takes on the annual shareholder meeting. If you haven't watched my shareholder video, my kind of debrief while I was biking, I'll give you my synopsis real quick later in the stream here as well, and a couple of things to watch out for. Okay, let me read out some places here. Oh, wow, a lot of comments. Awesome. This time just works better for everyone. I know, I realize this. It's, here's the thing. I do what I can, and sometimes I can't do the weekly stuff, or I can't do the live stream during market hour stuff, but best believe when I can, I am here. Seattle, how's it going? What they said. Richard, my friend from Cali. Norway. Cindy, how's it going? From Seattle. Oh, are you in Seattle now? Juju County, David, how's it going? Michael, of course, from Austria. Gonna be 30 degrees this weekend in Leduc, Alberta. Hope you're staying safe with all the wildfires around there, Adam. Boise, Idaho, how's it going, real? Toronto, morning to you as well, Barry. New Smyrna Beach, is that how you pronounce it? Rick, thank you, appreciate that. Muskegon, Muskoken, Michigan. I don't know, can't really read today. I need some more coffee. Milwaukee, I can't say that one. Yusuf, how's it going? Jan says, I'm sitting here with cold milk. Well, I'm pretty sure it's like evening time where you are, right? Jason says, you're back. Yes, I'm back, my friend. Fort Collins, Colorado. Geneva, Illinois. Timothy from the 604. I love seeing locals coming into the chat. If you're tuning in from Vancouver as well, let me know. Maybe next year, Canadian Cup holder. I know, unfortunate. But the Lightning are out too, Steven. So Sweden, I'm actually cheering for the Panthers. I'll just throw that out there. Maybe from Sweden, of course. Beaver County, Florida. I'll have to speed these up. Belgium, Florida, Toronto, DRK. How's it going? Yes, Elon's not going anywhere. Absolutely. Awesome. Enjoy your lunch. No worries. Yes. Okay. Oh, yes. Actually, thanks for reminding me, Richard. So I'm going to be pulling up Tasha Keeney's video on CNBC. On Bloomberg here in a second. I haven't watched that yet, and I really wanted to get her take on advertising and robo-taxis. So stay tuned for that here. We're going to be watching her. Always like getting analysis from Tasha. Scotland, New York, Milwaukee, a lot of East Coast, a lot of Europeans, not a lot of West Coast in the morning, which I guess makes sense, right? A Beach, Winnipeg, awesome, love it. Greece, jealous. Florida man, Seattle, Washington. Do not root for the Panthers. Oh no, yes, that's true. Actually, I'm gonna have to. You should send me. You should send me that video so I can see that comment publicly. That's actually so funny. Dallas, Camila Rio, maybe it is California after all. Tony, how's it going, my friend? It's a holy day in Sweden. Long Friday. Official not holy day, but it is in Denmark. Interesting. Awesome. Okay, let's talk Tesla stock. Okay, 180.14 sitting on Tesla here. We are cracked above the 9 and 21 day. As you guys know, I've been talking about the 9 and 21 day for a while. Tesla's been hugging it for all intents and purposes. But we are cracked above it. So we are in a bull trend. Our next real resistance is at pretty much the $200 level. Now, cracking the $200 level will be massive if and when it happens. Here's my honest take. My honest take is I think the market is probably overbought here a little bit. And I think next week we probably see a reversal market-wide. That's my hunch. Now, I hope I'm wrong, but I'm not actually hedging or anything like that on it, but that's just where my hunch is. Let me know where your hunch is in the comments as for next week. Just because the market has been ripping so fast in the last couple of days, and you guys probably know this, and I'll pull up subtle plug there. I meant to pull up Tesla. TeslaJuju.com if you want to sit on Tesla hat. So last 5 days, Tesla is up 7.33%. The NASDAQ in the last 5 days is up 3.5%. Actually, hold on. Let me just move this here. Okay, 3.5%. Apple is up 1.58%. But catch this. NVIDIA up 10% in the last 5 days. All right. So I think the market is a little bit probably overbought here. Next week might bring us some more macro level news. And Dan says the market stopped caring about the Fed. This is true until it's not. And I still think we're still in that phase. Yes, Jay Powell is speaking right now. He's making headlines. He's saying, I think Jay Powell, the last thing he said was that inflation is far too high, over our 2%, blah, blah, blah. It is what it is. But I still think the market cares about this. And I think probably looking just forward myopically into next week, I think there's probably a degree of overboughtness here. I don't think the ugliness is behind us for all intents and purposes. I know I titled this as has the market bottomed? God, I hope so, but I just don't think so as of right now. Again, remember, during bear markets, which is pretty much where we are in a bear market right now, macro speaking. And by the way, I did want to do this as well. Just a quick recap on the last year, okay? The last year on Tesla is down. Oh, I got to move this again. Trailing 1 year on Tesla, down 24%. The trailing 1 year on the NASDAQ, up 16%. So that delta there is quite large, right? 25, 15, all intents and purposes, a 40 percentage point swing there. Apple in the trailing 1 year is up 28%. So about a 50 point swing there, right? And then NVIDIA in the last year is up 82%. Up 82%, right? And Raymond says exactly. Macro, U.S. debt ceiling possible deal and vote next week optimism. Perhaps. I did see a tweet yesterday that said that people are pushing for Congress to not get paid, politicians to not get paid until this debt ceiling deal gets worked through, which of course is going to expedite the entire process. I think we know this, right? So anyways, not that anyone needed to be reminded of this, but just, of course, if I were to throw in another EV maker in here, let's throw in Rivian. Rivian in the trailing 1 year is down 53%. So, but still, there is a degree of weakness here that we're seeing the last year. Year to date, though, Tesla is up 66% versus the NASDAQ's 27%. So depending on where you place the pivot point, of course, these are wildly different conclusions that you can come to. Okay, some breaking news from Sawyer Merritt. Shout out to you, Sawyer. News: Tesla is in serious. Hold on. Let me just make sure everything works better. There we go. Tesla is serious about its plans to establish a manufacturing base in India. The country's deputy minister for technology told Reuters in an interview Friday, a day after meeting senior executives of Tesla. Now, look, it's no. In my opinion, it's no coincidence that Tesla's talking to South Korea, it's talking to India. Tesla is, of course, always and will always be putting out their feelers, right? Because countries need Tesla more than Tesla needs these governments, let's be honest. But this Tesla news in particular with India, I think is huge. And I think the market likes it as well, obviously. And the reason is Tesla going into India, actually, I'll ask the comments before I give my thoughts. Why do you think the market likes in particular, this Tesla India news more than what we've seen in the past with rumors about Indonesia or Thailand, of course, other than the obvious that India is much bigger. Why do you think the market likes this a lot more than those markets? I'll wait for some comments to come through. Martin says population, they need cars. But here's the issue with that argument. The average income in India is not very high. The average car price there is not very high. Tesla, even if they made a $25,000 vehicle, it wouldn't. I don't think they'd be selling in massively in India. Not that they can't. Not that if they did make a lower cost vehicle, they wouldn't do well. I just don't think it's this booming auto market for at Tesla's ASP at the moment. People are you're saying because Apple. Interesting. Jerry's saying mining. Is it a coincidence or is it India right now? There we go. Michael, less depending on China. Agreed with that. That is what I was thinking. Bill saying energy potential in China, in India, huge. And India needs it, right? Tony's saying demographics and education. That's a fair point as well. China's okay till it isn't. China was the point that I was getting at, right? Engineering talent. Yep. Indian roads are just less than ideal for sure. That factory is pumping out cars in decades. India in 2 years. You would need a factory there. I agree. So let me just now give my point. So I agree with everyone saying China. The market likes when Tesla is diversifying out of China. And maybe that's a hint towards what the market is foreshadowing. And I don't want to foreshadow this. I don't want to put this in the universe. But of course, we know that what's happened with Russia's invasion of Ukraine may or may not be analogous with what China is looking at with Taiwan. Elon was asked about as much at his CNBC interview the other day, and he said that you don't really need to read between the lines of what China's mission is when it comes to Taiwan. And again, I think people took that the wrong way. They were saying that Elon is agreeing with that. I did not take it like that at all. I think what Elon was saying was, why are you asking me? Like, China's literally spelling this out for us. Anyways, I think the market is really gun shy when it comes to companies that are, and Tesla, of course, makes a lot of cars in China and the US, but Tesla does really well in China. Their vertical integration that they have there, the increased margins. China, I'm not going to say Tesla's fully dependent on China, but there's a large degree of dependency that Tesla has with earnings today on China. Of course, it's going to get better with Berlin and Austin finally ramping. But I think this Indian news in particular is quite big. And people are saying, I've seen some comments about people saying, well, is India any better than China? And trust me, my bias is not here when it comes to these sort of things, but I'll tell you right now, India is a much better reason. That's why Apple has moved there and is slowly getting there to a point where they want to be more reliant on India for one big reason. India's politics, as corrupt as they might be, do align more with countries like the US, with first world countries, let's say, that have democracy. In China, that's not the case. We know that they're an authoritarian regime, the Chinese Communist Party, and so politics, geopolitics, is just harder there. And Tesla's done an amazing job managing that relationship, despite that, and Apple has as well. But I think the dependency there is not a Tesla issue, but Tesla getting ahead of it, the market quite seems to like. Low cost labor, yes, that's true as well, albeit the labor in India, I think, is not very manufacturing heavy yet. It's very service heavy, IT heavy. Mexico would be a better analogy, I think, to China of labor, I believe. But yeah, next February, the product is an electric rickshaw. Dad, crazy that you say this. I'm thinking about this. I was thinking about this yesterday. And I was thinking, okay, 20 million cars is what Tesla needs. 20 million vehicles is what Tesla is out in 2030 to say, right? We know 20 million is ungodly high from where we're sitting at right now. It's crazy growth, right? Crazy growth, unheard of. Now, everyone seems to think that means like Model 3s, Model Ys. But I think Tesla really is going to refine down what it means to be a vehicle. And especially in Asian countries, a lot of people have said this in my chat, you probably could never drive a Cybertruck in some of these Asian countries, right? at the size and specs that it is today. So I think the rickshaw type of vehicle, the smart car type of vehicle, something like that, where of course safety was still prioritized, because I think Elon is quite aware about, okay, we don't want to be doing motorcycles and this sort of stuff because of safety, and that there's Teslas have to be known about safety. And the rickshaw comes to mind. I'm just not sure how you would prioritize safety in a rickshaw. But I think when you add that into the product mix, all of a sudden 20 million is a very different number, right? The robotaxi fleet would do great there. I don't know about that. Listen, I went to India, in 2016, okay? It is just stupid driving there. Stupid. I'm telling you, and if anyone's listening from India, I don't know how you do it. We drove from Delhi to Chandigarh, which is about 6 hours overnight, 7 hours, I forget what it was. To Chandigarh. Anyways, listen, I thought I was gonna die 4 times, okay? Minimum. Probably 5. I probably don't remember the 5th one because I was concussed from all the wide turns, the bumps, the beeps. We actually got into a car accident in India. We got sideswiped by a truck on the highway, going like 40 kilometers an hour or whatever it was. So, anyways, everyone is fine. Don't worry. But it's just, trust me, I do not want to be driving there. I do not want to be on the roads there. So much so that I flew everywhere after that. I was like, I'm not driving. I don't care that we have a driver. I am flying where I need to go. Okay? I'm flying. So I flew like 20 minutes to get where I had to go because I was like, no, I'm not going on the streets. So robo-taxis, I guess if you did a wide overhaul of the entire population there and you put in robo-taxis, sure. But I'm telling you, like, throwing FSD in there, I can't even imagine that. Melvin says India is the fastest growing economy going into the 21st century. Also fastest growing population. I think it just surpassed China recently. Actually, let me look that up. India population. That, by the way, thank you for tuning in with me on a Friday afternoon, morning, evening. I don't know, depending on where you are. Early morning if you're in Hawaii. You guys could be anywhere, but you're here tuning in with me, and as always, I appreciate that. India population is 1.48 billion. Yes, so India has officially passed. Oh, I guess it's on the graph here. India has. Oh, hold on. Maybe this is slightly delayed, but yes, for all intents and purposes, I saw this on Twitter the other week. India has officially passed China in population. Nuts. Yeah, agreed. I think both of them seem logical. Okay. One thing I want to do, how safe do you think is the rickshaw? Tesla needs safe, standard safe. Exactly. So, I mean, that's exactly it. I just don't know how safe that would be. That's why I'm not predicting it to happen. But listen, if Tesla can rethink, the way that rickshaws are done or smaller vehicles are done, if anyone could do it, it is Tesla, right? India does not have IRA credits like Mexico. That is fair, but also, listen, if India can just turn into an export hub, this is also what I forgot to mention. If India can just forget about selling cars in India, if it just turned into an export hub, who cares? So remember, China has EV credits, but it's within China. But Tesla uses China as an export hub currently. Yeah, speed limiter, yeah, maybe. Helmets. Xander, how's it going, my friend? So good to hear your thoughts again, Yasha. I appreciate that. Thank you. Dogs on Indian highways give me massive anxiety. I've gone to Delhi and done that drive. Wow. Okay, have you? I have this story about this dog. I'm not going to get into it. Let's just leave it at that. It wasn't a fun story. Okay. Yes. I mean, of course, I recognize this point, Yusuf. But also, I think the flight was like 50 Canadian dollars or something. I guess it was very cheap. Well, relatively cheap for a Western, as you say, right? Richardson, how about the news on the rumor of China through Baidu? Yes, okay, I've got that pulled up here, actually. Okay, so from Chris Zhang, okay, some insider information. Apparently here, this is a rumor, hot take, take it with a grain of salt. But a person close to Baidu told me, Chris says, that Baidu will be responsible for making Tesla's data collection in China compliant, but that FSD beta still needs to be approved by Beijing. So, of course, we know that recently, who remembers this? What, 2-3 years ago, when China and Tesla had this spat about data centers, and China was like, no, you're not allowed to be collecting all these camera, all this camera information and videos and photos around all these sites. And then Tesla had to build a data center. I think it was in Shanghai, of course, to kind of please the CCP there. This is no surprise. Baidu, of course, is government controlled as well. But at the end of the day, FSD beta, for FSD to work, it's going to have to be approved by the CCP. It's not like there is no free market there. Does this mean that CCP will take the data and use it the way they want? Probably. Probably. Of course, Tesla being a foreign company in China makes it that Tesla has to kind of be compliant through these sort of areas. So does that mean that they can steal FSD? Maybe. I mean, but at the end of the day, what makes FSD is not just the data, but it's also the data modeling and Tesla's algorithms and machine learning that they built. So I don't know. Probably does help them to some degree if they were to take the data and use it for themselves, though, for sure. Yes, China does. It does. Injection too. You guys are too much. Okay, hold on. So we'll talk about advertising, folks. Advertising. Okay. Let's throw in the chat. Happy or sad? Advertising. Elon says they're gonna run ads. Are you happy or sad? Positive, good, whatever metric you want to throw in. One word it, but throw in the comments. What are your thoughts on advertising? You guys know where I've been sitting on this for a long time. I've been debating some Tesla bulls publicly and privately about advertising. Everyone seemed to think it's never going to happen because Elon said it's never going to happen, and Elon would never do such a thing. Guess what? Elon said, look, I'm happy to be wrong on this. Let's test it out. Why not? Screw it. Let's see what the comment section says. Yes, he did. Unfortunately, J Pow did. Okay. Gary won. Sad. Okay. Advertising rocks. Yeah, well, that's the other thing is energy has to be big. Happy. Yes. Okay. My friends. Okay. We are all happy, intrigued. Okay, that's a good one. Mark says sad. Fair enough. Good. Stephen, happy. Okay, awesome. Okay. Pointless. Okay, fair enough. And this is a pretty hot topic. So what I'm going to do here, if anyone wants to come on here and debate or give their ideas on it, I know it's Friday morning. I'll throw into the StreamYard link if you want to pop in here. If you have a camera working and a mic, it can be on your phone. Let's talk ads. Okay, so Elon, as you guys know, pretty much said, let's try out these ads. Look, I've been debating for advertising for a while, but check this out. Here's what I think Tesla is doing really well right now, and they're not even advertising this, but they're just running organic content. Look at this. I'm live on Twitter. I don't know why I never turned on my StreamYard Twitter integration. Okay, look at this. So Tesla Asia tweeted this out yesterday. Let's take a listen.
I'm Felicia. I'm a branch manager in the financial industry. So I'm a mother of two young kids, 3 and 5 years old. The technology attracted me. It looked different, it felt different. I would say in many small ways, even though it may not be evident upfront, but in fact the day-to-day drive is one of the smoothest and safest.
That is very true, by the way. It's a very underrated point with Teslas is how smooth they drive. Seriously, the suspension is amazing. I was talking to a buddy yesterday. So I told a story on Twitter about my buddy who totaled one of his cars, got a check for like $35,000 or whatever it was looking at cars, told him look at EVs. He was already looking at EVs. He was looking at e-tron and Mach-E and all this sort of stuff. I said, you got to look Tesla. He looked at Tesla. He decided to get a Model Y. He talks to me the other day. He's like, look, I don't know why anyone wouldn't buy a Tesla. It doesn't make any sense. And look, this guy is not like a Tesla lover. Doesn't even know I have this channel. Doesn't know that I talk Tesla. Right, but obviously, you probably could tell that I like Tesla. But he's like, I just don't know why anyone wouldn't buy, if they're buying a new car, a Tesla. It makes no sense. And this guy's telling me this flat out. And he comes to me the other day. He's like, man, it's a smooth car.
Every day I have to drive quite long hours. Sometimes it can get very tiring. With the auto steer, I'm able to put my mind at ease. It will warn me whenever I'm getting too close to other cars, as well as keep myself in the lane. I think end of the day when we drive, it's about getting from point A to point B and in the safest manner possible.
What a good point by her right there. That sentence. I've always been, by the way, I'm not sure if I've said this already, but I've always been a huge like, why are you spending so much money on a car, right? Why are you spending so much money on a car? I've had a 2000 I think it's 2001 Toyota Corolla for the longest time, just a beater, right? I'm like, the point is for me to get from point A to point B. That's it, right? And I would always use that line. Of course, everyone uses that line. But what she added and amended to that line, I think, is makes a lot of sense. She said, it's about getting from point A to point B in the safest manner possible. Safest manner. And that addendum to that sentence, I think, as I've gotten older, has been a growing priority for me. Of course, if you're young, you don't think about safety as much. I was having this conversation in my head the other day because I was biking. You guys know I had that bike video, and I had my helmet on, right? And I looked like a complete idiot, right? And I do right now wearing this helmet. And I had that bike video up. I don't know why I pulled that helmet out. Hold on. And I had that video, and my bike's gonna fall now that I did that. And I got a couple comments like, "Yeah, she's wearing a helmet. Nice, good for you." And I'm like, "Man, when did I turn into such a nerd? I'm wearing a helmet while I bike, right?" Because as you know, as a younger person, you don't necessarily care about safety as much. But I realized in that moment, I'm like, "Man, my priorities have shifted to where, safety is more a priority for me. It is more of a concern, for better or for worse, right?" And I realize this now, that it is from getting from point A to point B, but it is also about the safety mechanisms. And Teslas are the safest car in the planet. It's like, how is it possible that your buddy doesn't know that you have a channel? I only met him. I only met this buddy of mine that I talked about a couple months ago. So I don't go around. You know, it's funny. I don't go around ever talking about my channel. I don't. People find out. They find out. Unless like you're a really close friend and I'm telling you about this stuff. The average person that I run into or talk about, even if I consider them a friend, I don't bring up the channel. I just feel like it's I don't know, maybe it's an insecurity that I have, but I just feel like if they're interested in Tesla, they'll probably find it. And if they're not interested in Tesla, then why do I need to bore them with it? And I feel like there's a degree of like, I feel a little bit self-conscious at times about talking about Tesla so much. I'm like, why am I? Average people don't care that much, but as you can see, I'm talking about Tesla. Anyways, let's finish this 30-second video.
Of course, because also I do have 2 young kids and I'm a mother myself. Priority of safety is at the top for me. In terms of my kids, I really enjoy bringing them out. As a mother, of course, driving, you can never expect what kids might do. That's where the child lock is absolutely very important. There are really a lot of entertainment for them.
How big is this, by the way? Any parents in the chat that have a Tesla, can you attest to how important the entertainment factor is for you to have bought a Tesla over any other car because the kids love it? I feel like this point gets
the
hurt.
beach buggy game, and it's very real. Typically in Singapore, the weather is really hot. The car can really be heated up. So what I like to do is I like to use my phone to switch on the aircon before I even go into my car.
It sounds so basic. I swear, it sounds so basic. I showed him the other day, this buddy of mine with that Model Y. I was like, yeah, you can pre-climate your car at a certain time. He's like, what? He's like, this is amazing. So it's like these little things that I'm sure as you're watching this, you're like, yeah, who cares? This car does it, that car does it. People are wowed by this sort of stuff, and advertising, I think, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so this is something that I never thought could have happened. One thing that I don't really enjoy about going to the petrol kiosk is the fumes. I think everyone knows how petrol smells, and it's not just about the smell. It's in fact harmful for our health. I imagine a future without fumes, without smoke. We are able to all wind down our cars. We are able to breathe freely without all these chemicals that are out in the air. I would say it's one of the greatest gifts that my kid can have in terms of their future.
Listen, if you saw that as an ad and you're a mom, would that not intrigue you to a point? If you're in the car market, if you're thinking about buying a car. So that's why I'm really applauding what Tesla is doing here, even just by posting this organically. This is great. This is great. Because of course, Run this as a YouTube ad. Run this as a Facebook ad. I don't know. I don't care really. But get the word out because this is important. And I think a lot of people don't know about it. But you know what? Also on that gas point that she made at the end there, I had this thought. I'm like, man, I'm on the street. I was on the street the other day and I was like, wow, it's really loud. Like there's a truck passing by. There's like a million cars. I'm like, if everyone was electric, it would be kind of weird. It'd be like the entire street would be quiet, but there'd be a lot of traffic. I guess that probably is going to take some getting used to for us and I guess our kids and our grandkids. Okay, so let's watch. If you guys have, let me know in the comments. Have you guys watched this already? Let me make sure the comments don't block this. Tasha Keeney from ARK Invest talking about Tesla's ad plan and robo-taxis on Bloomberg Tech. Let me know if you've watched this. Let me put in my headphones so we don't get any feedback. And drop some comments as we go on here in a second.
Tasha, does advertising convince others that aren't in the choir?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's certainly the point that everyone is harping on here. I think generally it's not a bad idea to at least try advertising, right? I mean, from our research, we know that on both a sticker price basis now and a total cost of ownership basis, EVs are better cars, right? They're cheaper, they're more performant. So if you're not buying an electric vehicle, the question is why? Maybe, that information just hasn't reached you yet. Maybe an ad will. So I don't think it's a bad idea there.
People, where was everyone talking about how great advertising was 2 weeks ago? Come on.
I'd say what I was most excited about from last night was all the talk around autonomy. Elon said he thinks this will be the greatest asset unlock in human history. And I'd agree. We've modeled that autonomous driving could add an additional $26 trillion to GDP in the next 10 years. It's going to totally change Tesla's business model, and we're excited for it.
I want to get into your 5-year forecast, but let's react to the other announcements, which is JB Straubel being added to the board. And also, the comments from Elon.
By the way, that was such a home run, wasn't it? JB getting elected to the board again. Of course, that was going to happen. I'm just very happy that JB is back. Of course, I don't think he was ever gone, but just having him back officially with Tesla, great stuff. He's a huge asset, and I think Redwood and Tesla are going to do some massive things moving into the future.
Musk about his focus on Tesla remaining as CEO, particularly to get the company through its next focus on artificial intelligence. What did you make of that, Tasha?
Yeah, I think JB Straubel is a great addition to the board, right? Right now he's working with his own company on battery cycling. We know that's crucial to scale the battery industry as a whole. They're seeing great efficiency, I think over 90% in recycling. We've always thought that it's important for Elon to stay on as CEO as they reach full autonomy again, because we think that this is the next greatest milestone for Tesla and arguably any automaker out there. This is what they really should be going for. So we think that autonomous driving or autonomous ride hail, which is how we expect it to play out, will constitute roughly 2/3 of Tesla's enterprise value in the next 5 years. So this is huge. Tesla has an enormous data advantage, and you shouldn't miss it.
See, look, that's huge. So 2/3 is what she's saying. That Tesla's autonomy and robotaxi business is going to account for Tesla's enterprise value in the next 5 years. You guys know with robotaxis, my timeline is a little bit different, and I talk about being just a little bit longer with my timeline on FSD, and I think probably, admittedly, that's a function of me just not having beta. Throw in the comments though, if and when Tesla does go full robotaxi, starts monetizing these. What year is it? I've asked this a lot, but I'm curious to get your take after shareholder meeting, because I have to say, I've heard Elon a lot of times talk about FST, but the shareholder meeting got me just a little bit more giddier than usual because how bullish he really sounded this time around. And of course, Elon, it's a running joke at this point with Elon saying FSD is ready this year. But it feels a lot realer.
Investors or shareholders rejected a proposal for Tesla to publish a key person risk report. And Tesla's argument was, well, if we put all of our talent in the shop window, our competitors will try and take them. But do you still have a key man risk concern around Elon Musk? I guess, you know, a new CEO at Twitter goes some way to allaying those concerns.
Yeah, you know, I think there's a lot of focus on this question. What I broadly say is I'd be a lot more concerned if he said he was stepping away from Tesla, right? Again, I think he's crucial to cross that autonomy finish line. You know, autonomous driving lowers the cost per mile of ride hail significantly, invites a lot of people that are not currently in the ride hail market into it. You know, it's going to be a multi-trillion-dollar industry over the next 5 years.
Huge, right? Okay. Probably the biggest differentiator with anyone on the street versus ARK Invest in terms of institutional investors is Robotaxi's ride hail. No one else is sticking out their neck in the way that ARK Invest is, for better or for worse, right? A lot of people have turned sour on Cathie Wood and ARK Invest in the last couple of years because of performance, and maybe because of strategy or the way that they manage their ETF. But the biggest differentiator, if they're going to be right or we're going to be wrong or I'm going to be wrong, is Robotaxi and how bullish they are on timeline. Like they're saying multi-trillion-dollar opportunity, winner takes all in the next 3 years, right? Like that's where their head is at. And of course they're maybe more privy to inside information and timelines. So I mean, it's definitely exciting. And Martin makes a good point here. Martin says, what's the plan? You know, what city are they going to release it to? As you guys know, here's my Tesla Robotaxi plan from an outside idiot like me, okay? Pick a city. Run version 12 when it's out. Geo-lock it. Tesla brings 45 Tesla Model 3s, Model Ys to the fleet. They run it from limited hours. They run it themselves. They run statistics on it. They say after 6 months of operation, we have saved this many lives. The average cost of a ride is this much lower than an Uber and Lyft. And now we are unlocking it for 1,000 people in this city, 1,000 Tesla owners in this city. You can subscribe here at $500 per month. And this is how you're going to operate it within your fleet. Like, I think there needs to be some sort of a layout plan. And I think Tesla needs to eat their own dog food when it comes to FSD rollout. It won't just be a morning, waking up on a Friday morning, watching Yashu's Tesla Power Hour and saying, oh, look, I just got an update. V12, we're live. Let's go Robotaxi. I think Tesla needs to eat their own dog food, plan this thing out, showcase it, run a case study on it, and use that case study to sell other municipalities that might be on the fence about this. At least that's the way that I would recommend that they go about it. But then again, I am an idiot.
So, you know, and on Elon's time, you know, we've heard this question come up so many times over the past 5 years. I mean, Tesla, SpaceX, you know, he was one of the founders of OpenAI. He's clearly demonstrated that he can juggle a lot of tasks, and ultimately we're just focused on his execution, right? And I think given that Tesla has the best, you know, cost relative to performance of any electric vehicle maker out there, you know, he's already proved sort of that he can juggle multiple things and succeed at it.
There was a demonstration of progress, apparent progress in Optimus, the humanoid bot. When you saw that, did it give you any feeling that they are making progress in the field of AI, in that use case at least?
Yes, I think Optimus is really interesting. So it's definitely out of our 5-year forecasting window. You know, our price target for Tesla is that our expected value is roughly $2,000 per share in 2027. That actually doesn't include
that. So $2,000 per share is another 10x from here, right? So exciting.
Optimus, because I think that, you know, by the time it's a meaningful contributor, again, it could be further into the future. But I think the important thing to look at here is, you know, why Tesla? Why a humanoid robot? Well, given that they have this massive data advantage from autonomous driving, you know, they have millions of cars on the road. They're collecting over 1 million. They have over 1 million miles driven in FSD daily, which they can then pull data from. You know, that's an order of magnitude more than competitors. So I think this sets them up well to basically create robots that move through the physical world. and the autonomous car will be the first version of that. But they can, port that knowledge over into other robots. And I think the Optimus robot is a good example. We talk a lot at ARC about backwards integration. I think the fact that this is a humanoid robot and it can move through spaces that were already built for humans is big. And I think this, in the future, could be a major productivity enhancer. Like all AI, we'll see, non-market labor activity turn into market labor activity. And I think the productivity of the individual worker will ultimately increase because of this. So we're excited about it.
So ARK Invest's timeline on Tesla Bot is outside of their 5-year horizon, right? They're not baking any of that in when they talk about their $2,000 price target, which is exciting because, of course, Elon has said, Tesla Bot is going to take it's like in his head, it's all about that because that's what matters in terms of disrupting labor. Essentially, you're commoditizing labor, right? When you have a Tesla bot, let's say, or a humanoid bot. But it is exciting that they're not including it within their model.
Your 2027 call is $2,000 per share, which I'll give you an opportunity to explain. But the question is, did anything in that presentation or in the interview with CNBC afterwards move the needle for you guys, change the course of where you see this company going?
I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, I think, again, since we're so focused on the long-term horizon, that 5-year view, I would stick to that $2,000 per share estimate that we put out. I think, again, what I'm more looking forward to is everyone else realizing the opportunity in autonomous driving. Because I actually think that Tesla does not get enough questions about this opportunity, given how monumental it will be. So I was glad that we heard Elon talk about that last night, again, because I think that most don't truly understand how big of a productivity unlock and a cash flow unlock it will be, because we think autonomous ride hail could have software-like margins. And we heard...
Oh, it's going to have like top of the class software-like margins.
Heard affirmation of that last night. So again, it's a recurring revenue stream, software-like margins. So, it's up to, let's say, roughly $10,000 in cash flow per car per year. I mean, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
And no other traditional automaker is, close to the data advantage that Tesla has, at least. So they're in a major pole position there.
Okay, listening to Tasha and ARK Invest really talk about FSD timelines and just a huge opportunity. Of course, like intellectually, I know all of this, but I'm just like thinking, and I'm watching these like 11.4 videos on FSD, and I'm like, man, like I'm not sure what timeline. I know everyone gave their timeline guesses in the chat, and I think probably like the medium guess was like 2024, end of 2024. But that is huge, like 10,000. So she spelled it out at the end there: $10,000 of cash flow per year per car that's on the fleet. That's what differentiates Tesla, is when people buy Teslas, they can always give them more money afterwards. And where's the comment here? Someone said it, 50-50 or 70-30, right? So Tim says you'll be able to subscribe for FSD for $500 per month. Then it'll be a 50-50 split with Tesla on the Robotaxi. Exactly. Well, Elon said, I don't know if it'll be 50-50. I don't know if it'll be 70-30, whatever it is. But exactly, like I think you'll have to subscribe to it. Whether it's $500 per month or $1,000 per month, if you're going to be an operator of a fleet, there's going to be some monthly set fixed cost to it. Remember, that's just pure margin almost for Tesla. Like Tesla, if there's 100 people in the fleet or 1,000, it doesn't affect Tesla. Maybe outside of managing a little bit more in terms of service, being able to talk to people and manage the fleet and deal with owner issues and all this sort of stuff. But its margin, its margins are software like. And then on top of that, you get a cut of every ride, and you don't own any of the cars, and they're autonomous. You don't have driver issues. Like, this is very exciting in terms of where it's going. Of course, and I think it was Dan that left a comment here. The year is like what, 2024, and Yash is riding in a Robotaxi, still talking about timelines. Well, I would try to find it here. That was really funny. But maybe, and again, I've said this a lot, right? If I don't like an idea, or not that I don't like this idea, but if usually I'm a little bit slow on something, that's a great sign, because I'm usually not the first one to be like a hot shot in an idea. I'm an early adopter, but I'm not like the first adopter often. So, I guess we'll see. Appreciate that, Mimi. Thank you. Yes, hit like, hit subscribe if it's your first time here. We like to talk Tesla, as you could probably tell. And if you're watching on replay as well, leave me a comment down below. What percentage of people would want to use their Tesla as a robotaxi? Having people in your car without supervision seems risky. No, I'm sure they would have insurance for that. And on top of that, I think money talks. If I know that I can net out another $1,000 per month off of my car, right? I can make $1,000 per month just by having my car run when I'm not around, and it can self-manage and I don't have to do anything, and I'm not going to miss it because I can schedule out when I need it. Yeah, I would do that. I was already thinking about Turoing, by the way, but then I realized like I actually need the car. But like Turoing would be something that I would be more scared about, because you give it up to a human and they get to drive it and they get to do whatever they want with it. At least with Tesla FSD and robotaxis, eventually it'll be something where if something were to happen, hopefully Tesla would have that managed within their fleet of insurance, right? Yeah, but there's a lot of and that's exactly why, like, these little scenarios that we talk about is exactly why I still think that Tesla needs to eat their own dog food and run their own FSD. And they're probably going to, right? I'm not saying that they won't, but this is where my head's at. Tesla needs to announce that, look, we're going to be, we're going to be running our own robotaxi network in this city, limited hours here, or 24/7, but it's going to be 20 cars or limited to this many cars, and we're going to run a case study on this, because that's how they're going to sell this package is what they're going to take around the world to say, look, this is what we've done in this city, let's do it in your city as well. Because I think it does come down to municipality by municipality. Awesome. Anyone want to come on stream? Open invite. I am, it's been about close to an hour here on stream. I'm happy to go a little bit longer. 179.12 sitting on Tesla. Let's do a quick market check on this. Up 1.3%. The NASDAQ is down. Yikes. What happened? Jay Powell killed the market. NASDAQ is officially red on the day, down 22 basis points, albeit. The S&P 500 is pretty much flat as well, down 20 basis points. Let's do NVIDIA. What is NVIDIA sitting at here? NVIDIA is red, but I mean, NVIDIA has been kind of on a tear, down 1.5%. Let's see what else we got. So Tesla actually is outperforming quite well. How's Apple doing? Let's pull up Apple. Apple up 30 basis points, so pretty much flat here on the day. The only thing that is up is the VIX. So in case you care about that, let me just pull this up. Awesome. I see a guest here. You might recognize him from past shows. I'll bring up Bahadir. How's it going, my friend?
I'm doing well. How about you, Yashu?
I'm doing well, my friend. Happy to have you on again.
Yeah, great to be back. I've been busy a bit lately, but finally we had the right time. I was just went to the hairdresser and I'm like, oh no, I'm going to miss the stream, but luckily it was already still alive.
Hair looks good. Looks fresh. I like it. I need a haircut actually, probably this weekend.
Yeah.
So
nice.
So what do you got for us? What do you want to share today?
Maybe I'd like to talk slightly about the FSD timelines, which I do think there's quite a bit of a variety of opinions that when the FSD can possibly happen. And I'll just give a small disclaimer that I worked with the AI teams before. They weren't doing neural networks, but the other kind of a machine learning systems. But of course, that's a kind of like a different domain, business domain. I was working mostly in Schiphol, for example, in terms of calculating a lot of the turnaround times with the airplane. So it's quite a complex problems. And also even right now, Schiphol is at the stage of they are watching the airplanes from a video stream, and they can actually predict what stage the airplane is in terms of operations, like a cargo is loading and all these like different things happening. There's a lot of companies working around. But long story short, I mean, the most important thing for AI in general is the data quality you have and how much you can turn that data advantage into the working software as general. And what is perhaps slightly missing is that the rate of data collection is also exponentially increasing, which means that that when they hit edge cases that they have to go through, and since we already know that they have the software already to collect and ask cars to give these cases back to the fleet and upload those videos, and then from there on train them, we know that this process, and I also assume that in addition to like a Dojo is going to come into the play at some point of time, these improvements and then software releases is even going to increase more, and those iterations I think might be quicker. I think the biggest question mark in general in terms of these long tail problems is like the FSD. I mean, long tail, it means that the long tails, for the viewers that doesn't know about the long tail problems, that you know, the curve goes down, but it just keeps on going, right? So the amount of nines that you have to reach, it's just you don't know exactly when you can reach the next digits. But it's also, I think Elon also mentioned this, like, look, I mean, if there is no big re-architecture necessary to go through these edge cases, I think it's going to get easier and easier for Tesla to reach to the next levels. And it's a bit of the perception is that, you know, they seem to have quite a bit of a grasp at this moment that the current architecture is going to handle most of the time. And I do also notice that I think we are not going to need hardware for kind of a FSD or maybe like a robotaxi, perhaps, because Elon keeps on mentioning that, you know, once the software is out, it's going to be available with all the cars. He's not like second guessing that, oh, maybe like X and Y, we have to have the upgrade. I think they are already confident that the amount of processing that the current machines in the cars are going to be sufficient enough to go to the next levels. But of course, it's a kind of a unknown territory, and that's why it's very hard to guess the timelines that when exactly. So it's a bit of a wild guess, but I think the soon I think the results we are gonna see very soon. So what do you think?
And how? Okay, but you have to give me your uninformed guess. What is the exact date? No, I'm kidding. What's the like rough timeline in terms of months or years that you're looking at?
I think if Tesla approach the problem such as that they are going to enable a FSD use case in any city or town to go for a ride, I think we can reach it in the next 6 months. I feel like.
Wow. Okay. So let's double that. Let's say even a year. Wow, that's quite fast.
But I should also mention that there is also extra software components that needs to be written into the whole logic, because the car needs to be aware of the whole driving operation. Like, so operational, like if you think about Waymo or Cruise, they're already doing this, right? So they are commanding the car to go to any location from a remote system, right? So a server tells the car to go this location in the minimum amount of time, right? So the car needs to drive there. So I don't know if they already written a software like this or not. So this needs to be developed. But from there on, I think we are going to see soon the Tesla FSDs are going to stuck at the traffic.
I'm excited. I hope you're right. I really hope you're right.
Yeah. So that's what I want to talk about, and I think we already talked with you on the chat about advertisement. That finally, I think to hear that Tesla is going to try these things out.
Exciting, exciting times. I appreciate that. I didn't know that about your background about the AI stuff. That's awesome. Yeah. Appreciate you tuning in. I got some other people here on the back end that I have to bring on, but I appreciate you as always.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Take care.
And then have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.
You too. Yeah, you too. Awesome. Hey, you know what? I mean, even if it takes 6 months, okay, I know I'm getting ahead of myself. You guys know I've always said like it's gonna be longer than that. Man, like, and who was it? I think it was Nick here that left me a comment. Chat GPT has increased my confidence in AI and FSD. I think that's it. That is it. It's so true for me as well. And I tweeted something out to this effect as well. I said, you know, it's like ChatGPT has really changed the way I look at this to a degree, because it's like, man, if that big of a revelation worldwide can come and change the game, and ChatGPT is increasing productivity on an aggregate basis, there's no question about it. Like all of a sudden it becomes a little bit more realistic to kind of see that, because of course there's no precedent of this sort of stuff happening. Also, you know, James Domas says FSD is really close. He says that, but I think he also tweeted that it is quite some time away in terms of timeline. It might be close in terms of challenge, but I think timeline, was it him or Chuck that said, I don't want to paraphrase wrongly, but one of them said that they still think it's some time away. Awesome. Let's bring in our next guest, sitting backstage, Eric, who I see is grooming a dog here. Eric, my friend, how's it going?
That's good. That's Johnny.
Oh, look at that.
Beauty. My buddy Johnny.
I think this might be a first for the channel. How's it going?
Good, man. Hey, I just really wanted to say hi. I loved the bike video the other day. I thought the bike video was great. I shut this fan off.
Appreciate that.
Hey, I just wanted to help you out with your Michigan pronouncements. That's pronounced Muskegon.
Muskegon. Okay.
Muskegon. Yeah.
Muskegon.
Yeah, I used to live in Kalamazoo. There's a lot of Indian names up there in Michigan. So
got it.
Hey, as far as FSD goes, I really think they will start it in a small area, but I think they'll just do deliveries.
Okay. So like Amazon type of.
Well, no, like pick up and drop off from any location. Food deliveries probably more than anything else.
Huh. Okay.
Because now you're not asking it to secure a person. You're asking it to secure a meal or a small package.
Interesting. And then kind of like those Pizza Hut cars that just drive up to whatever, and then they open up their trunk and then you grab your pizza yourself, sort of thing.
Yeah. It just pull up and, you know, it could text you to your phone. Hey, your pizza's in the driveway and the frunk's open. And then people go, what the hell's a frunk? Where? It's where?
Well, you know what's weird is like people have a hard time closing the frunk. I've realized is, you know, people don't want to slam it too hard, so like they go very easy on it. I wonder if that could be an edge case problem. But that's a good point. Like, you don't, in terms of liability, it would just be liability on the road. It wouldn't be liability within the vehicle.
Exactly. Yeah. And again, you're not protecting a person's life. You're just protecting somebody's meal. If someone doesn't get their meal delivered because, God forbid, something would happen with the car, not really that big a deal. Someone's going to be upset. Maybe they don't use the service again, but you know, no one's in the hospital. No one's in the court of law. So
yeah,
it's just my thought. I don't know if that's how they'll do it. I think we try to micro manipulate how things will go, and Elon's already at the end game.
Yeah.
And we're like, I think they'll do this, but it's fun to speculate. This is what makes our community fun, you know. And hey, I love having you back on Friday. Thank you very much for the opportunity to come in and speak.
Right on. I appreciate that, Eric. Thanks very much. Great points. Anything else you want to throw in?
Yeah, Johnny says hi.
Beauty. Beauty. Love it.
See
awesome.
You, man.
Have an awesome day. Awesome. You know, that's a great point with the food delivery, and I haven't thought about that, but you know what? I think the preceding event that has to probably happen for that to exist is a Tesla App Store, because Tesla would have to partner with an Uber Eats or partner with a Skip the Dishes or a DoorDash or whatever, and then through them work that out. And I think for that to happen, there might have to be an App Store prior to. But again, that's a huge case about the App Store as well, right? And I've talked about the App Store, and I think how big of an opportunity that is for service revenue. That is exciting. Bahadir saying Optimus with the Tesla Robo taxi in the front seat. Interesting. That's an interesting point. And I just threw in the link as well if anyone else wants to hop in here. But I'm pretty sure Pizza Hut did this. Did they not? Let me. Okay. Whenever I Google stuff on live on stream, it usually doesn't end well. Pizza Hut delivery car. Let's see here. Okay. California Pizza Hut to get electric 3-wheeled. No, it was autonomous. Let's throw in this here. Okay, Pizza Hut partners with self-serve robotics. Maybe this was just a Canadian thing, but does anyone remember this in the States? Does this also exist down there, or was this mostly a Canadian thing that I'm now throwing upon all you as if it's also happened to you down there? Let me pull up my comments so I make sure. Domino's too? Okay, interesting. I'll pull up Domino's here in a second. But here in Canada, hold on. Pizza Hut is this a April 1st thing? Okay, no. I remember this. Pizza Hut partners with Serve Robotics to bring autonomous sidewalk robots to Canada. Now, this doesn't get more of a rendering than this. Like, I look at this and I immediately think, did Midjourney print this out, right? But look, Pizza Hut on 1725 Robson Street in Vancouver was selected as its first location for the pilot. Customers, and that's not too far away from me. Customers selected for the robotic delivery will be able to use Pizza Hut app to track the robot's location as the order approaches. Now, I don't know how far this is. I just remember reading about it. Whatever happened to Amazon's drone service? Yeah, honestly, what happened to that? Hold on, let me play this.
Delivery robots are a real thing. This is Nerdist Now. The year is 2021, which is the future according to most movies from the 80s and 90s, and even though we still don't have flying cars or universal healthcare or food entirely, a self-driving robot designed to act as an automated delivery service. Originally designed as a means to deliver groceries and goods, California's Department of Motor Vehicles granted the state's first autonomous vehicle deployment permit to
By the way, great shirt. Awesome pineapple shirt. I have a pineapple Hawaiian shirt myself.
the company during the height of the COVID
I should wear it one of these streams.
COVID-19 pandemic last year. The
Okay, I
robot
don't
was
think...
utilized
Oh, there it was. Hold on. I jumped the gun. There it is.
and materials in parts of Northern California in an attempt to cut down on person-to-person contact. Now, though, Domino's and Euro are setting their sights on delivering cheesy goodness to some residents of Houston, Texas. During
Nice.
certain days and at certain times, residents of Woodland Heights can choose to have their pizza delivered by an R2 unit and will be able to track their order and R2's location via text alerts and online. Domino's will also provide customers with a PIN number, which they will then enter
Wow.
onto R2's touchscreen to receive.
See, that's epic. What if you made everyone download a Tesla app to unlock the vehicle when it came to you, and that way everyone had a Tesla app on their phone?
Their order to prevent pizza theft. The technology behind self-driving cars has steadily evolved for decades now, and companies like Tesla, Cruise, and Google's Waymo are slowly releasing autonomous vehicles onto our nation's roads and freeways. But unlike those models, the R2 doesn't pick up hitchhikers unless you accidentally ordered an extra side of cheesy bread. The R2 lacks side mirrors, rear visibility, and has a
Okay, what if Tesla made one of these?
windshield that cannot be seen through, all of which are required by human
Look at that.
vehicles.
That is
the
epic.
R2 is electric and
Imagine you're just on the highway and you're driving and you just look in the HOV lane to your left and there's just this thing zipping down at 100.
navigates using a combination of overlapping 360-degree cameras, a
You poke it turns over.
thermal imaging camera, lasers, short and long-range radar, ultrasonics, and emergency vehicle detection systems. The R2 has a top speed of 25 miles per hour, is barely 3 feet wide, and is 6 feet tall, measuring from the wheels to the top of its camera. So basically, Vince Carter would have no problem dunking on it like it's a robotic Frederick Weiss. If you don't understand that, Google it. It also has a sound generator used to alert pedestrians and is equipped with an energy-absorbing front panel to protect pedestrians as well. That way, it doesn't get into a sticky situation like the pizza robot in that super dark episode from Black Mirror Season 4. Long story short, don't murder people, folks. Now, there's no word yet if Domino's plans to expand the R2 delivery units to other cities, but Senior Vice President and Chief Innovation Officer Dennis Maloney had this to say in a statement. There's still so much for our brand to learn about the autonomous delivery space. This program will allow us to better understand how customers respond to the deliveries, how they interact with the robot, and how it affects store operations.
That's very interesting. And shout out to you, Eric, for bringing this onto my radar. No pun intended. That's okay. I'm going to have to sit on this and think about it because I'm an idiot and it takes me some time to think. But interesting. 179.70 sitting on Tesla. Folks, we are rallying here, right? The NASDAQ is negative. The S&P 500 is still negative. But yet Tesla is up. Even NVIDIA The golden jewel of the stock market this year is negative, but Tesla and the VIX going hand in hand today, positive. Remember this India news that we got, this breaking Giga India rumor news, whatever you want to call it. The market likes this. And volume for the day, in case anyone was wondering, is 135 million shares traded for the day. So let me just pull this up. Sorry, 85 million shares. I was like, that's high. 85 million shares traded for the day. Average volume is 135. So, I mean, I think we're trending for a decent volume day as well. Wow. Yes, says we'll end the day at 200. Okay. Well, let me end off this stream classically. If you guys know, if it's the first time watching, maybe you don't. Let's do our Tesla closing price guessing game in the chat. Leave your best Tesla closing price guess for today's market hours in the chat. Remember, Price is Right rules. You have to be at or under to win the virtual Juju prize, which might come to you via mail. Because of supply chain issues, it might take some more time. Remember, virtual Juju is just my good luck through it. But it's not closing. Yes, not closing yet. But I'm not sticking on for another 3.5 hours, unfortunately. So drop your Tesla closing price in the guess. I'm going to throw mine in as well. In case you're wondering, the volume weighted average price for the day is, where is it? What's the V? Where's my VWAP? VWAP. Let's see here. Did I disable it? I disabled my volume weighted average price. Here it is. Okay. I don't know why it's not showing up. Okay, whatever. I have no idea what volume weighted average price is. I usually give that as a hint. Awesome. Throw your guesses in here. Perfect. There we go. Awesome. I'll throw my guess in here as well. I'm going to say 180, 125. I'm going to go bullish on the day. What's the catalyst today? So I have a couple of questions here. Starred. I think today's catalyst is mostly around the continued Giga India news. And then T. Nelly said robotaxi government regulations will be cumbersome and entrenched. So so Richard here, not legal advice, is a lawyer, and he's talked about this a little bit, and he said crossing state lines is the bigger issue. Within cities, they can generally do what they want. So I think it's a municipality by municipality base. But I think if they started in SF or Miami or Las Vegas, makes a lot of sense with the tunnels. I think Miami might be a really good one as well because of nightlife. Of course, Vegas there. I just think that generally makes a lot of sense. So throw your Tesla closing price in the chat. Wow, Blue's even saying 310. Man, you talk about Elon being an internal optimist. 179.63 sitting on Tesla. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. I probably won't stream this weekend. It is a long weekend, but I'll clip up portions of this stream and post on the weekend. I'll do shorts. I'll be tweeting out, of course, as I normally do, at Hey It's Yashu. Go follow me on Twitter if you want there as well. Have an awesome long weekend. Maybe we'll stream on the Monday if I have nothing to do. The market will be closed. Hold on. Let me just check, because last week I got it wrong. New York Stock Exchange holiday 2022. Is the market closed? Is the market closed Monday as well? Look, my Canadian is showing, okay? My Canadian is showing, unfortunately. No, it's not. Okay. I'm just going to double check, though. The next time the market is closed is Memorial Day, 29th. Okay. So, hey, hold on. So that's great. So if the market's open on Monday, I have Monday off. Let's stream again on Monday. Maybe let's do morning or power hour. I don't know. Let's do sometime on Monday as well. Let's do a live stream then. It's just nice live streaming when the stock is actually moving. You know, it's just, you know, the weekend is nice too. Don't get me wrong, but I know a lot of people have obligations and family stuff on the weekend, so it's a little bit tough. Okay, awesome. Have an awesome long weekend if you're Canadian, regular weekend if you're American. Put away your technologies, your phones, whatever you need to do to sign off. Go for a walk, go work out, prioritize your mental, physical health. Just spread some good juju. Be nice to everyone. And let's stream Monday. Let's do it. Monday live stream sounds good. Awesome. Let's do it. Sanju, how's it going, my friend? Let's do it. Awesome. Hit subscribe if it's your first time here. If you're watching on replay, let me know. If you made it here all the way to the end, you can go back and watch any part of this live stream. Giga India news, the Tasha Keeney ARK Invest interview, me breaking down advertising, a couple of awesome guests coming onto the show, all of that and more on the replay. Have an awesome weekend. Go enjoy it. Yash signing off, and thanks for all the support. Whether it's people following on Twitter, Patreon, YouTube membership, whatever it is, I want to just say shout out to you guys and girls. It's awesome just you guys are awesome. I'll just leave it at that without sounding too corny. Awesome. And enjoy your sailing, Marco. Be safe. Awesome. Everyone take care. Peace out. Yash signing out.